Hi, everyone. This is Saurabh here, and welcome to the Passionately Curious podcast. As usual, we bring more interesting, creative people around the world, and we go deeper into their journey, the challenges they have faced, and how they have evolved into the professionals they have now become. Today, I have Özlem Ozkan from Amsterdam. She is one of my inspiration. I met her during a Maven course, and she's a fellow Akimbo alumni, and I have learned so much from Ozlem over the last, I don't know, 1 year of our interaction. And I have been wanting to have this interview for the last 1 year. So finally we are here. And I'm very excited for today. And Ozlem, hi, welcome to the podcast. And let's start. Just if you can introduce yourself to the audience and let them know what you're working on.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. First of all, really appreciate the invite. So yeah, I'm Özlem Özkan, Amsterdam-based entrepreneur and teacher. What I'm doing, all the work I'm doing is around helping people to change their mindset into a growth mindset, going from A to B by changing your mindset. And I do this through the podcast, the Bridging podcast, through my workshops, the transformation workshop, and to also cohort-based courses, which actually Sarah was one of the students a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that gives me a very good point to start this conversation, changing the mindset. And I would be a testament myself because I like just before we started this conversation, you were saying, sort of, you look happy. And I think you have played a big role in that, where you helped me shift from a kind of a fixed mindset to a more possibility based and more uh, I actually go back whenever I am stuck. I go back to your workshops, and I'm like, and it just gives me that spark. And even in very difficult circumstances, I try to visualize what a good solution might be like, or what action can I take, or how things can be easier than I'm like, if I'm making things more difficult for me than they need to be, then
Yeah,
I go there. So let's start with this. So if you can share your thoughts on mindset and what does transforming mindset
yeah.
mean, that would be very useful.
So very, very great to hear that, Sarah. I'm really very proud, and I don't know, I love it that you go back to all the work you have done actually. So first of all, I want to say, if you want to be a very good basketball player, you can read many books on playing basketball. You can read many books, autobiographies of basketball players. But if you want to be one, you need be on the stage. You need to be there on the stadium. You need to dribble the ball. You need to fall. You need to make mistakes. You need to just get hit. You need to, I don't know, lose a lot in order to win. You need to do the work. And that's the same with mindset. We can talk about it for hours, but I mean, really knowing and doing it is a totally different dimension. So usually, the way we sit now together, this is my job, the position what I just told. I'm also much more than only that. I'm also Özlem, the person Özlem, the woman Özlem, the daughter Özlem, and you are Sarah. And everything what we have done so far is based on our belief system. When I say belief system, I don't mean like religion. It might be a little bit part of it, not fully. It's like, all the beliefs that we have believed about ourselves and the world and our surroundings made us to become who we are right now. For example, you are in a job X, you really don't enjoy it. That is because also you have beliefs around that. That's why you have created that job. So you might have created like, it's difficult for me to quit. It's difficult for me to find another job. I need to hold on to this job even though I don't like it. People can't get other jobs. It's already the job market is difficult. Why should I resign? Whatever. Or you might say, you might just do something that you don't like doing because of some beliefs that you're having. It's the same with other things. Let's say you found your life partner and your beliefs like this, For me, life partner, I always wanted that. It's easy to find for me, for myself, a life partner. I enjoy being with my partner. We have together joy. These are all beliefs that are actually making you experience that. And beliefs are like the iceberg. You know, you have the top of the iceberg, maybe 5% or something what you see, and 95% is under the eyes. You can't really see what is that. And in our subconscious mind, we know the 5% beliefs that we are having about all the things what we are doing. Either it's a job, either it's a love relationship, either it's a work, either it's about finance. People have a lot of beliefs around finance, about, for example, rich people are bad people, money is evil, these kind of things. So, but this is what we all know. But under that, the 95%, there are a lot of beliefs in our subconscious mind reprogrammed by our experiences. And maybe we can discuss that also by all the lifetimes we have had before or our ancestors. It is in our subconscious mind that we do or do not take any action based on these beliefs. So you can change your mindset, change the reality you are experiencing by changing your beliefs. But first, there are 3 steps for that. The first step is you need to be aware of what kind of beliefs you already have right now. And many people are even not aware of that. It's difficult to take personal responsibility because of my beliefs. This is what I create. So number one is you need to know where you are. You cannot go from India to the Netherlands, where I'm right now. If you are actually in Thailand, you cannot go. You need to know, I am in India and I want to go from India to the Netherlands. But most people are in Thailand. They think they are in India. They are in a different place. So once you are aware of your beliefs, your belief system, and that's not in one night, that's not in 1 second, it's sometimes in 1 second with one belief, but it's by keep practicing. What am I actually believing now? For example, I give you an example. If a friend of yours says like, I actually want to move from the city where I'm living in India to another city, but I won't do it. The first question you can ask, what is actually holding me back? I'm fearful that I cannot find a job, for example. That's already a belief. I'm fearful that I cannot find a job. Then ask yourself, is this actually limiting me? Or is it empowering me? Is it actually empowering me to go there, what I want? It doesn't empower me, it limits me. So then the number 2 thing, once you have found the limiting belief, you need to disassociate yourself from it. You need to recognize it's just a belief that is created. And I don't want to underestimate or overestimate it, but it's really just a belief. But people attach so much energy to their beliefs that they even don't have energy to actually create new things, because the old beliefs are so it's our comfort zone, we can stay in there. Once you recognize it as it's just a belief, you can decide to let it go and disassociate, or you can just really see it as, this is just my belief. This is not really me. It's one of my beliefs, and I don't want to hold on to it. You just disassociate it from yourself. And after that, let's say you really want to move to that city in India, you can ask, like, what would someone else that is actually not fearful do? What kind of belief would this person have in order to move? She might think, wherever I go, things work out for me. Wherever I go, I always find jobs, even though they're less, I always find jobs. Wherever I go, I bring myself, and what I bring is valuable. But people with these kind of beliefs, they get there. It's not because they are too much, too less jobs, because the belief is creating your reality. You actually partly also tap into the law of attraction, maybe even not partly, but a big part.
Yeah, I actually like experienced this in like, it has literally happened with me. I have been wanting to shift to Bangalore for a few years now, And I always used to think that, okay, I have this apartment in Delhi and rent would not be same in Bangalore, or the it will be too costly. And right now I have the exact same, like I have an apartment at the exact same rent and exact same terms. And whoever I talk to would say it's so difficult to find an apartment in Bangalore. And I kept fighting that, like if somebody gave me that information, I kept fighting no. If I keep finding, I'll find a good one. Like, and I ended up finding a good one. And I'm like, I just saw that, like, just and the challenge, I think, because when I experience your workshops, the challenge is uncovering your dormant beliefs. Like there are many things that you have, like just they are so deep within you that you don't even
Mm.
know that you believe them. And
Ex- ex-
when we dug deep and when we took them out, and when I was sharing, and other participants were also sharing, many times we were in tears because
yeah.
we realized that this is within us which is holding us back. And that, I think that is how transformation, like the transformation that happens in your workshop, like that was the big root of that transformation, is that we are not just going on the surface level and saying, oh, you want to lose weight, okay, do this, lose weight, blah blah
Mhm,
blah.
mhm, mhm.
And
Yes.
instead we are going deeper into why is it difficult for me to lose weight in the first place?
Mm,
What do I believe about health, about anything, about money, about relationships, about anything? What do I
mm.
believe about them?
Yeah.
And
You know,
yeah,
actually, a very good example what you have given, Saurabh. One of the things you said, like, every time something came up to me, like, hey, should I just move? I was fighting these beliefs. And Seth Godin has a really nice saying. He said like that in my podcast, in the Bridging podcast. He said like, it's not about getting rid of or fighting. It's about dancing with that belief. Because when you fight it, it will persist. And the rule, the universal law is whatever you resist, it will persist. But whenever you see it as just as it is, no judgment. Why do I think like that? Oh my God, again, it just keeps existing because you give energy to it. And when you pay your attention, that you give your energy there and everything grows there. You don't want to grow that, you want to grow other things, what you really want. And for example, what your audience, what the listener or the watcher on YouTube can do right now, they don't need to do a workshop with me. They can do, of course, it will be really nice to have them. But I would just say, write about a few core topics in your life, right? Just draw a circle and write down in the middle relationship. Draw another circle, write down finance. Draw another circle, write down um, business. Draw another circle, write down romance, for example. And then ask yourself for all of these separately, what are my beliefs around it? For example, finance might be like, I will stay always poor. I am poor. When I have money, actually, I'm a bad person. And the more you keep going and keep going and keep going, the more you just get peel all the beliefs, and the more you sit with it, and it takes time instead of watching the social media or doing all the other stuff. Just carve some time out for yourself. Write down, what do I believe about finance? I actually want to be rich, but I'm not rich. Or I'm always skips with everything. I've never seen, I'm not lovable, blah, blah, blah. Write this all down. And then you get an overview of, oh my God, this is all what I believe about these topics. That can be a really huge aha moment. And for some people, they even, at the moment they see that belief, it's already gone. Because like, whoa, I got an aha moment. I have
yeah,
daily aha moments.
yeah. I think if someone wants to do it, I think I would recommend the workshop as the best place to do it, because uh, as a coach, you are there to help people go through it, and it's a very important role. But if somebody wants to go directly, I would suggest sitting with a couple of friends who are of a similar mindset, positive mindset, because I think sitting alone and doing it is a bit difficult. Like,
Yeah, what I actually could do, you have done the cohort-based course, you were together with other students in a group, but I also have developed the same course in a video course, which is called Transformation Workshop. We can put it, if you want, you can put it in the episode notes. It's like www.bridgingworkshops.com, and they can just get the course by themselves and they watch the video. They do the homework, watch, do it, watch, do it. So I speak to them, not live, because with you, I was live there. So they can also choose to do that, or indeed with some friends, they can sit together. They have done more accountability.
yeah, that's a very good option, I think. Like, if someone, and I think again, the first option would be to directly like join the cohort whenever it is happening. But the alternate option is that. Uh, Ozlem, next I want to talk about Dr. Joe Dispenza, because I think he is he and Seth are very big influencers in your life. And so we'll start with Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you can share, how did you get to know him and what have you learned and how that transformation has happened? And if somebody wants to reach him, what would you recommend? And then we'll go and talk about other inspirations in your life also. But let's start with Dr. Joe Dispenza here.
Yeah. What do you already know about him, Saurabh? I'm curious. Do you know something about Dr. Joe?
I when you mentioned him in your program, in your workshop, so I Googled him and I saw that he is a coach and like person who helps you become more positive and visualize. But for me, like it was coming through you. So I was like, I have a life coach, so I'll just focus right now on her. And but now
Yeah.
I'm curious because I wanted to ask you this for a while. So I thought this is a very good opportunity, because not only will I learn, but everyone else will also learn.
Yeah. So actually, he is definitely one of the, I would say, big influencers in my life. But I've done for the past 9 years now already so many different personal growth courses. And the funny fact is, and people are usually impressed about this when I say to them, I studied bachelor in education, I studied master in child psychology / pedagogy, and I'm actually a child psychologist from origin. That's what I study. And when I say this, they are impressed. But honestly saying, I'm not that impressed, because as I said at the beginning of this podcast, I knew the theory, but I didn't know the practice. I believe highly in people that have walk the talk. So I was a teacher for a long time. I'm still teaching partly, and I'm not a mother. Each time I recommend mothers and fathers, like, hey, you could do this, 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 but always with a point in my head, like, yeah, but it's easy said to me from me, but how is the situation at home really? Because I've never been in that situation. I don't know. I know it very well at school. I know it very, very well at school how it goes. So I'm always cautious about that. And when I hire coaches, I had a business coach, and that guy never studied as a business coach, never had a certificate, but he started 4 businesses. So I was like, how do you do that? Teach me, you know? So going back to Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he is a doctor. He studied chiropractic, chiropractic. I can't, sorry that word. My native language is still Dutch. So in his early 20s, he was doing a triathlon. He was cycling, and he fell from the bike. And when he fell from the bike, the ambulance came and all, and they said, like, in your spine, we all have on our spine, we have these, I don't know the technical terms, sorry, but the parts of our spine, and he had many broken parts in the spine. So the doctor said, hey, you will never be able to walk. You need to really go undergo surgery. It's very important for you. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I won't do it. And before that, he used to do a lot of yoga, and he was like, I'm gonna train my mind as if I am already recovered. So he was 6 weeks on his bed at home, no surgery. And the doctors were really like, surprised, no surgery. Come on, you should get a surgery. I mean, this is very important for you. He doesn't get the surgery. What he does daily for hours, you should just watch his YouTube channel. He tells there exactly how it goes. I hope I tell it right. And he says, like, by not only visualizing, very important, he doesn't believe in it, by being, by feeling as you are that person fully recovered. After 6 weeks, he was able to walk again. Because every day he sent signals to his brain and mind as if he was recovered. And, giving a small example, in The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg, he writes about an athlete, a swimmer, which was training for the Olympics. And the swimmer was training his mind daily on how he would swim during the Olympics, lap on the lap, another lap, another lap, another lap. And he was daily, before he was sleeping, training his mind. I'm going to swim like that. He was not doing it literally in the visible world, but in his mind he was doing it. And once he goes to the Olympics, his goggles fall, break. But he still wins the Olympics because he trained his mind so much that he was going to do a lap, another lap, another lap, another lap, another lap. And then he wins the Olympics. And what Dr. Joe Dispenza does, through meditation, you can heal yourself from very different things. There are people, I would just highly recommend you to watch testimonials. There are people who recovered from cancer, who recovered from thyroid disease, which was irreversible regarding to some modern medicine, and people that want to create abundance, creating abundance, whatever they want to create. Either it's health, either it's a partner, either it's money. By training your mind as if you are that person, you can be that person. So if you want to be a rich person, you need to feel, first of all, as you are that. If you are not that, it's not, you won't attract it to. And the more you are that persona, the more you're going to attract it to you. I have attracted that a lot. For example, one of my beliefs was, when I grew up in the Netherlands, born here, but I have Turkish parents. So for the ones, they might know, of course, in India, like I grew up biculturally. And I had a lot of false beliefs around that, like, oh my God, it's difficult to be Dutch and Turkish, oh my God. And once I was at college, 17, 18 years old, I was like, wow, it's actually interesting because they want to work with me because I have my Turkish background. And when I was in the Netherlands, in Turkey, they want to work with me because of my Dutch background. I felt actually a privilege that I could bring something in with a bicultural perspective. And since that is the case, whoever I will want to work with, actually somehow, I believe in God, or you might say a higher power, or whatever you want to say, it's up to you. It brings it to you. It just comes. Truly, truly comes. I've created a podcast show, so privileged that I have had amazing, nice guests. It has been never really difficult to get them on the show, because I was believing it will come. I mean, Dr. Joe didn't come on the show yet, but I know he will come eventually. I just know it. I mean, I don't have any data. Like, I don't have any chance calculation or whatever. Because, when you stop thinking, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can.
By the way, because I'm going to sit one on the website. When you with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, when you eliminate the analytical mind, the thinking of like, I want to go from A to B from this road, that's what your logical mind thinks, right? Then if you eliminate that, if you cut that off for a moment or just shut it down, you can find very other ways how to go from A to B. Maybe I should just go from up here, or down there, or walk from here, or maybe it should come to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says, like, in order to become everything, first you need to become nothing. All peel off. In the meditation, you are coming in a realm of nothing, where you can be every single thing. And the nothing coming is more like, you don't want to be like your past. You don't want to be the way your parents you taught you. You don't want to be your teacher. You don't want to be the society who is maybe pressuring you to be a kind of a person.
Yeah, I totally relate to what you're saying. And what I understand is before anything happens, it's our own mind that stops us from taking action. But once we start believing in whatever we want to become, once we start feeling that, then that what do you say, resistance or that reluctance to take action to make it possible. Like for instance, if you want Dr. Joe Dispenza to come on your podcast, right? Then one critical action or one action, small action is to send an email asking him to come over, or maybe talk to
Yeah,
someone who can.
yeah, yes
And
and no. Yes and
yeah,
no. Here's the thing. What we want you to do is just shut down the thinking, but open the heart. Just ask it from here, fully, wherever you believe in, whatever that name, thing, whatever is called for you. And sometimes after you feel that, sometimes it requests an action. Sometimes it does not request an action, but you know, and you know when you know. Like, for example, I sent him an email. They said no, whatever other reasons. But if you believe in it and if you know it might come in so many unexpected ways. It might just happen. I don't know. Like when I tell this to people, some people say, like, you believe in fantasy. It might be I am just eating in his restaurant and he's staying in the hotel here. Hey, remember I sent you a message. Hey, can we do the podcast? Yeah, of course. Maybe I don't even need to ask. He says, like, you have a podcast. I want to be on you. I don't know. Or I just get an email. He's open again for podcast. It's not only the action. So when I do my course, people, there are some students, they ask me like, what kind of action should I take? But I'm like, it's not up to me to tell you. I can tell you, but that's my universe. That works for me. But you need to find through feeling what works for you. It is a super cliche, but you need to do what feels right for you. And you know that. You know what feels right for you. You know that if you have really good moral compass, you know what it is. But if you keep believing in it, if you do it as if it is already happened, then it will happen.
that is interesting. And that is like something uh, maybe I need to keep going back to, because my mind has become that you have to take action, and that has helped me in the past. So it just goes to take action and that will make things possible. But what you are saying is also another level of just letting, like Naval Ravikant talks about, spreading the surface area for luck, right? Just and by believing in things, you can let things happen to you also. Like it's not that you need to like just have that calculating mind. And I understand what you're saying.
So I think the most important thing is you need to keep being the person you want to be. That's the whole thing here. You need to keep being the person you want to be, either if it's with an action or non-action. It's not about like, hey, I want to be a podcaster. Let me just sit down and it will come to me. We're not talking about that. I mean, if it might require some action, you need to just open YouTube. What do I need for this? I need this microphone. And then when you walk to the grocery store, for example, when you feel as if you are the podcaster, I am the podcaster. You feel as if it is that person. You just walk as if that as that person. You don't try to copy someone that is walking that way, but you need to feel I am podcaster, I'm walking, I'm having tomorrow a really nice guest is coming. And do also the work on the side.
Yeah, yeah,
Get the microphone, and you need a microphone. You need a recording, and then you reach out, and you are already an amazing podcaster. And everyone wants to be on the show of amazing podcasters. Why not? I am an amazing podcaster. I want to be there.
yeah. So, like, what I'm curious about is like, have you been like this from the very beginning, or earlier you used to have a calculating mind and something changed? Was it Joe Dispenza's courses, or what helped you? If there was a transition, so what helped you transition from what you were to what you are becoming now?
So very, very good question. I've been always a driven person. I had a huge drive from when I was a really little child, baby, maybe. And what happens in my family, that's eventually just a story. And my parents were very into making us all study, but there was a little difference between girls and boys. Like especially girls, me and my sister, we grew up protected by my parents, and they were like, don't go outside late. Just study is important, but don't talk to him. Don't have a boyfriend. All these things, and because of that, I was just more like, why? I should just do it. Why can't he and why can't I? I just got more a bigger drive. But that was a very ego-driven drive. I even sometimes wanted to be a boy, so I could do all these things. I don't want to be a girl. I want to be a boy. So that was very ego-driven, and also I was so driven by you tell me I can't, I will do it. So in my 20s, when I started doing courses where I did the work as practice, not only the theory, what I learned at college, I knew that there was so much ego involved there that I actually didn't even care about any other people anymore. It was only about me. I just go first there. I just go this. And I thought I was a kind person. I thought I was an authentic person, all these things. But there was a lot of things on my side that it was not authentic. It was not kind. It was not honest. I thought, no, I am. And I was also very into blaming my surroundings, especially, my parents, by everything what was happening to me. I also never felt it happened for me. I felt it happened to me because of you. And everywhere outside, there was like, oh, hey, Sarah, how are you? But towards my parents, I was not. And so once I did the course, I got to know myself on a very ugly way, ugly side, how I also was. And I was like, hey, I'm going to take personal responsibility now. And which is not always still easy, by the way, because it really takes strength. Honestly, it's much easier to just run there, go reach the goals. I feel it's much difficult for me to admit, oh, I'm also this. I have a hidden agenda there. That's why I'm doing this. It's not coming from a heart space. These were very difficult things for me, and still is at times. So I was like, there, if this is the reality I have created, the ugly and the good, the darkness and the lights, as I have written in my book, The Student, Reflections of the Heart and Mind, I accepted this is me. I have created this, and I take full responsibility. And then I was like, if your energy is kind of a 1 liter water, that's your energy. Where do I want to put this 1 liter water in? In my ugly side, in my non-personal responsibility side, or in the cups where I take personal responsibility, where I just actually walk more with awareness, more with my heart. And believe me, because I'm talking really nicely about this, does not mean I'm only putting it in the nice cups. I still put it in time by time in the bad cups. But I'm much more aware. Oh, my fear is blocking that.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And it is like I I I can just see the analogy of me being in your workshop and doing similar kind of work, and maybe your experience might be similar or even better. But that is a very difficult thing to do, right? To look at yourself without judgment and just see whatever you are without rationalization, without like uh, without saying, oh, I am like this, but because of that, and just seeing that I am like this. So that transformation is
Yeah,
yeah,
it is very um, it is time by time painful. You don't want to feel that pain. You don't want to cry. You don't want to feel like, oh yeah, this is what I'm feeling and this is why I was doing this. Because most the things we are doing are based on fear. If we are not honest, people
yeah,
talk about white lies, or what is it, pink lies? What is lies? The small things that you lie off. What is it called? Pink lies, white lies. And let's say we had this podcast call, right? And let's say I wasn't there. And while I actually didn't feel like joining, I said to you, I missed the invite, for example. I actually, I don't want to join because there's something else. And I just tell you, I missed the invite. That's why I'm not coming. So it's just a lie. You don't know that. But I would ask myself, why am I feeling like I'm going to lie? Because I am fearful that you would say, but you should, because we have an appointment. I'm just there. The fear is driving there.
yeah. Fear
And if you
makes us
would,
do crazy things.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes more honesty to say, or more pain to say,
Hmm.
hey, Sarah, we made this deal together, but I actually don't feel like anymore.
Yeah.
Because Sarah might think something about you. He might think, what a bad person. He might reject you. Or I don't know, you might think he's not will not help me in the future. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. And many times those
Your
things are
fear
not
is
even
stopping
true.
you.
Many times those things are not even true. Like if you actually say that, okay, yeah, I'm not feeling like it, I am in a
Mm-hmm.
different mindset right now, and that might actually increase your respect in the other person's eyes. Like, at least this person is being honest. And when you make
Most of the time,
excuses, yeah,
but most of the time, and even not, let's say, no, you don't get the respect, they just don't like you anymore. But that's how it is, you know? And
yeah,
because we don't want to feel that,
hmm,
we just keep doing the same things. And that's with everything like that. Like Oprah Winfrey, she said in one of her interviews, one of my biggest disease was pleasing people, you know, saying yes on everything, especially when I just got more wealthy in finances, in terms of finances. So the cousins that I did not have showed up, and people that I did not know said, Oprah, you love children, right? But can you help us with this charity project? And she would say like, hey, but actually someone else should have helped children. But she was just scared to not please. And then she says like, Steve, not Steve Jobs. What is it? Stevie Wonders, I think.
hmm,
He calls her one day and then says like, hey, Oprah, can for this charity, can you just help support? And she decided that morning, I'm going to practice saying no today. And she just says on the phone, no. And then she's kind of really scared. Luckily on the phone, there's
yeah,
no Zoom.
yeah,
And then he says, okay. And then just that's it. And
yeah,
she got just such a relief, like that someone said, okay. Because
yeah,
she was for years so scared that someone would say then, hey, but you have money.
Yeah.
And even though he would say it, she doesn't want full stop,
Yeah.
or she wants full stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's again a cliche. You should really do what feels good for you. Life
Mhm.
is so short. It's just you. I don't feel I'm running out of time, but I feel like things go fast.
Yeah.
And every single moment I'm in this world and I'm given to breathe,
Mhm.
I want to really use it in a way that I feel so authentic.
Yeah. Uh, I think we are running out of time because you have to go somewhere. I would love to continue this for a long while. This has been
Let's do
amazing.
another episode. Let's see what your audience think, and maybe we do
Yeah.
another episode.
Yeah.
So, audience of Sarab, if you listen to this, if you like it, give a thumbs up, and then we'll do another one again.
And it has been such an amazing conversation today. Like it was a coaching session in itself. Like, and I think I'm very hopeful that anyone who listen it will have a positive transformation through this conversation. I really want to thank you, Ozlem, for giving me this opportunity to interact with you on a podcast. And I hope to like very soon we'll do another episode and go deeper into these things. And I think these are things that everyone can like. It's not like where you are, wherever you are there is another level that you can reach, there is another transformation that might be possible for you. I would highly recommend Ozlem's programs. You can go to ozlemoscan.com. I think Ozlem, is that right?
No, it is Özkan, Özlem.com. Let me spell it for
Oscan.
you.
Okay.
OZKANOZLEM.com. And for the workshop, they can go to bridgingworkshops.com.
Awesome. I will put the links in the show notes also, so you can directly click them and reach there. And I would highly recommend her courses. If you are stuck or if you just want to grow in life, I think it's a good, it's a really good place to do that. And also, she has a podcast called the Bridging Podcast. You should definitely listen to her interview of Seth Godin. That I just listened to it over and over again, and I have listened to so many interviews of Seth, but that one in particular just goes under the skin. So I would highly recommend you searching on
Mm.
Spotify for the Bridging Podcast and looking at Ozlem's podcast. And Ozlem, I hope we can collaborate more in different ways. And this is a very good start where we can go. So, any parting words you have for the audience, and then we.
So thank you so much, first of all, Sarah. Really appreciate the invite. Very nice to talk to your audience here. And what I would say to everyone today, if you just before you go to bed, just ask yourself, what did I not do what I actually wanted to do? Ask and then write it down and write behind that, why didn't I do it? And then write it down too. And let's see.
I will definitely do that and I'll share that with you. What did I not do that I wanted to do and why?
Great.
So, and guys, you can tweet me or you can send me a message and I share with Ozlem. So, what did you not do today that you wanted to do and why? And let's get this ball rolling. Awesome. Ozlem, thank you so much for being here and hope to see you soon on the podcast again. See you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.